Coming up on Midco Sports tonight, highlights from the Fargo Force's 6-5 win last night over the Omaha Lancers in Game 3 of the Western Conference Semis. Then we'll take it to the prep scene. Jody Norstead has your high school report for North Dakota. And finally, David Brown breaks it down. NSIC spring football, that is. Today we're talking Concordia St. Paul, Southwest Minnesota State, Upper Iowa, and Augustana. All of that plus much more. Midco Sports Tonight starts right now. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the show. I'm Kelly Stewart, and this is Midco Sports Tonight. Well, we will start today on the ice as the Fargo Force are in the midst of the Western Conference semifinals against the Omaha Lancers. And after splitting games 1 and 2 over the weekend in Omaha, the series headed back to Fargo this week for the next 2 matchups. And fans at the Shield Center definitely got their money's worth last night. The Force came out firing, scoring 3 goals in the first. But Jacob Schmitz-Festrup had the prettiest, going between his legs and around the defender before poking it past the goalie's toe. That puts the Force up 2. Just a few minutes later, William Falstrom to A.J. Drobot, who buries the one-timer. The Force are feeling pretty good heading into the second, but not so fast. The Lancers' offense explodes in the second period. They scored twice in the first 5 minutes to quickly cut the Force lead to 3-2. Omaha adds 2 more goals over the next 3 minutes. So they were really putting up numbers, but Mick Kohler would find Ethan Price, and the Price is right, had to say it, for a 4-3 Lancers lead after 2. Fargo fires right back. Right there, Falstrom ties the game at 4 apiece, but moments later, Schmitz-Festrup with the beautiful pass to Drobot for his second goal. Force regained the lead 5-4. Fargo with all the momentum, but that is Cole Gallant with 12 minutes to play. Knocks it in. 5 minutes later, the Force regained the lead. Robbie Stucker shoots it, barely grazes the butt of Jordan Seifer and deflects into the net. So we're taking a few looks at this one. Stucker shoots it. Seifer, whether he touched it or not before it went in, is debatable. He says he got a piece of it. It was the 10th goal on that side of the ice. So the Force were clinging to that 6-5 lead in the final moments when the Lancers had one final chance. They put a few shots on goal, but Strauss-Mann covers the puck. And then things get chippy. Gotta love that. But it is mission accomplished, and the Force win a wild game 6-5. So they take a 2-1 lead in the series. They can clinch a trip to the Western Conference Final with a win tomorrow night. Actually, tonight, 5 different players end up scoring for Fargo in what turned out to be an epic playoff battle.
Wasn't pretty at times, got to credit Omaha with a lot of courage fighting back, but we also fought back as well. There's just 2 heavyweights going toe-to-toe, and we landed the final punch. It's closeout time, we got a lot of work to do. We've got to play more of a complete game, complete 60-minute game, and finish it the right way.
It's all about heart. Every guy out there, you got to lay out for pucks. You got to sacrifice your body to make a play for the guy next to you, and that's what it takes to win a championship.
Tonight's Game 4 is a 7:05 puck drop up in Fargo, and our Midco SN crew will be there to get highlights and reaction. And as I said earlier, if the Force win, they will advance to the Western Conference Final for the first time since 2013. A Fargo loss would send the series back to Omaha for a decisive Game 5 on Friday night. From the rink to the links. You guys see what I did there? The Summit League Golf Tournament wrapped up late yesterday afternoon in Nebraska City, Nebraska, with North Dakota State gunning for its first championship since 2013. The Bison took a 13-shot lead in the final round, but things would tighten up a little bit down the stretch. It was a windy day at Arbor Links Golf Course, and the Bison had to battle their way after a tough start. Senior Natalie Roth had birdies on 1 and 5 to grab the individual lead early on. She would bogey a couple of holes on the back 9, but would save par on 15. Then again on 18, the long putt for par, shooting a final round 73 and finishing in a 3-way tie for the lead. Bison sophomore Sierra Benyon was the final group coming into day 3 at 1 under, but she struggled in the final day, shooting an 81 and tied for 6th. In the playoffs, Denver's Sophie Newlove would tap in the short par after a beautiful chip to win the individual title over Roth and South Dakota State's Teresa Toscano, but NDSU would hang on for the team title by 4 shots, putting an end to the Pioneers' 4 straight Summit League crowns.
This one is very different. The first one we won was fun and very exceptional and very rewarding, but we were the favored team going into that one and managed to come out on top. This time it was a different story. We were not the favored team, and the team that was favored to win was favored by a fair amount, and we needed to play exceptionally well, and we all believed, the girls all believed, and they got it done. It's just great.
I couldn't have asked for a better ending to this tournament. It was close on the individual title, but I had the opportunity, and that's all I could really ask for. And my main goal was to help out the team today, so I am so happy.
So North Dakota State gets the automatic berth to play in the NCAA Regionals coming up May 7th through the 9th. Denver finishes at +28. South Dakota State was third, 16 shots back, and USD wound up fourth. On the individual side, North Dakota State had 3 golfers in the top 10. Toscana's final round of 69 was the top score of the entire tournament, who finished tied for second with Roth. And then finally, news coming out of Vermilion yesterday. Coyote women's basketball junior J.C. Bradley announced via Twitter that she will be continuing her basketball career elsewhere. Bradley said she had been granted her release from USD and thanked her teammates, coaches, and USD fans for helping her to have 3 great years in Vermilion. The Norfolk, Nebraska native averaged 10.5 points for USD this past season while shooting 47% from the field, 41% from downtown, and 90% at the free throw line. We wish her the best of luck. And when we come back, we'll check in with the giant slayer of North Dakota Prep softball. Hear what Valley City has to say about their big wins over the defending state champs. Plus, Jody unveils his latest power rankings. You won't want to miss those. Stay right here.
Midco Sports Tonight, presented by Avera Orthopedics.